What is going on, you guys, and welcome back to another video in the street build series, where today we are going to be covering the Honda S2000. So of course, before we get into this build, we got to go over what you get with a Honda S2000. A popular selling point of this specific Honda vehicle is that this is one of the only cars from them that comes in rear-wheel drive. There are also two different engine displacements that are sold for the S2000. They sold a 2-liter and a 2.2-liter. We will be using the 2.2-liter for the sake of this video. A 6-speed manual transmission, making 236 maximum horsepower and a 0 to 60 time of around 5.5 to 6 seconds, give or take. And the S2000 model sold from the years of 2000 to 2009 and got a facelift in 2004, named the AP2 model. Now, getting back into modifications, the first one will be the Koenig Hypergram 17x9 plus 40mm wheel in matte black. I chose a wider wheel for this build because we are going to be making a pretty large amount of horsepower when we get into the performance mod portion of this, so we want to be able to put that power down. Then we're going to wrap these wheels in the Falken Asinus RT 615K plus tires in a 225x45 R17, which is a performance tire that's offered from Falken, and it should help to ensure that not a single horsepower is wasted. Then in a suspension to drop this thing down to the ground and stance it out really nice is of course the BC Racing BR Series coilovers, as they are always a safe bet. A really nice price point for entry-level coilovers, and will make this car look incredible. With visual modifications done, let's get into performance mods to turn this Honda into a rocket ship of a vehicle. Of course, to accomplish this, we're going to be using the turbo kit, as I think that a lot of Honda engines do well accepting this boost, and the S2000 is no exception to this. So the turbo kit that we're going to be installing on this car is from Full Race, as I have seen some people on the forums and things claim that they can produce up to 600 horsepower with supporting mods. To accomplish somewhere close to this figure, we are going to need the following items: a Garrett GTX 3076R Gen 2 Turbo, Full Race's Pro Street T3 exhaust manifold, a 44mm external wastegate, a front mount intercooler, downpipe, charge piping, a map sensor to convert from the MAF sensor, and a 3-port boost controller. This is just the start of the list, as there is some recommended upgrades to do to ensure that we can have some reliability and push the most horsepower out of this. When I was reading through some of the forums, I saw that it is recommended to upgrade the motor mounts, so we're going to choose the Sport motor mounts that will prevent vibration damage to the engine and also improve comfort quality for the person driving. Then we are going to need some better spark plugs for this build, which is why we are going to choose 2-step Coulter Iridium spark plugs from NGK. Next, to ensure proper fueling for this car, the first thing that we will do is upgrade the fuel pump to the Walbro 255 L/h fuel pump, and after that, upgrading the injectors to the Injectors Dynamic ID1050X, which should help to make sure that we are getting enough fuel to the engine for our big boy turbo. After that, this car is going to be in major need of a clutch, so we're going to be upgrading it to the Stage 3 clutch and flywheel from Action Clutch to make sure that power from the engine and transmission can sync up and not slip at all. Now of course, we got to make sure that this thing sounds sick, so we're going to have to add an aftermarket exhaust, which I feel like can be one of the hardest parts because a lot of exhausts sound slightly different. But for the one that we are going to be choosing is the HKS high power racing exhaust, which should sound a little something like this. Next thing that we are going to need is the brains to run this whole operation in the form of a Honda tuner, so that way we can communicate with the car's ECU, and this works with our next thing, which is a tune that we can estimate a cost of like $500 just to add it into the final cost, and our tuner will be able to adjust the ECU to run this tune. Now we're on to our last few items. This item, or items, being front and rear sway bars. This will help to tighten up the front and rear end and provide more stability for the car and decrease body roll, which is also great for a car where we are dramatically increasing the horsepower on. Finally, we just need to upgrade our brakes to make sure that we have the stopping force to halt this little missile in case we're flying down the road. This brake kit comes from StopTech, and it's their carbon fiber ceramic brake pad with their drilled and slotted rotor and caliper kit. With all that done, we finally have a beast of a Honda S2000 that should be a blast to drive on the street, potentially the track, and could wipe the floor with a lot of other cars within the community with all these upgrades that it has now. We could probably estimate anywhere from 500 to 600 horsepower, since some people on the forums are running this exact same build, or something close to it, and they're getting about 600 horsepower at the crank. I feel like we could assume probably anywhere from 500 to 600 horsepower. Dyno's different, parts can differ, so I feel like it's a safe bet to assume anywhere between 500 to 600 horsepower for this. But that's all that we got for the S2000, and as always, if you think anything could be added to this build or changed, make sure to drop a comment down below and let me and anyone else watching know. As always, this video series appears every Sunday on the channel, so make sure to watch out for this weekly video. And if you have any ideas of other cars that I can make a video on, make sure to drop a comment down below letting me know, so that way I can make sure I make a video on what you guys are interested in. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, do me a favor and hit that subscribe or like button. It means a lot and I appreciate it more than you could ever know. And for those of you who continue to like and watch my videos, thank you as well. With that being said, that is all that I got for today's video. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next one.